The laws of money that govern every empire. 1. Why every empire thinks it is different. Let us begin with a simple observation. Every empire believes its money is special, more advanced, more controlled, more modern. The hook is this. They all make the same mistake. The tease is this. They all ignore the same ancient laws. And the reveal is this. Those laws never cared. Money operates on fixed rules. These rules are not printed in constitutions. They are learned only during crises and forgotten as soon as the crisis passes. Then the next generation repeats the cycle. So what does that actually mean? It means that without understanding these laws, a person will always feel like the system is draining them. And it is. Not maliciously. Structurally. These laws behave like gravity. You do not have to believe in them for them to work. Footnote. This section introduces the repeated pattern of empires misunderstanding the fixed laws of money. 2. Gresham's Law. Let us examine the first law. Bad money drives out good. This was observed centuries ago in the era of silver coins. Here is the hook. When two forms of money circulate together, people behave predictably. The tease is simple. They spend the weak one and hide the strong one. So what does that actually mean? It means the public is not naive. They can tell when a ruler waters down a coin or weakens its metal content. They immediately spend the weaker coins in the marketplace and save the higher quality coins privately. This happened in ancient Rome when silver content declined. It happened across medieval Europe when coins were clipped or diluted. Each time, the stronger money vanished from daily use. Confidence eroded. Prices destabilized. The official currency hollowed out from within. This is slow decay. The first stage of monetary breakdown. Footnote. This section demonstrates how people instinctively protect strong money and discard weak money, degrading the system. 3. Thiers' Law. Next, we move from slow decay to collapse. Thiers' Law shows the opposite pattern. In crisis, good money drives out bad. This is the hook. The tease is that the pattern flips completely when trust breaks. During hyperinflation, citizens rush to abandon official currency. They move into anything more stable. Dollars, gold, cigarettes, barter. The national currency becomes a hot coal. No one wants to hold it. So what does that actually mean? It means that when collapse arrives, the social contract around money dissolves instantly. People no longer wait. They exit. En masse. This is the fast stage. The sudden death of the currency. Footnote. This section explains how public behavior reverses when a currency collapses and trust disappears. 4. The Cantillon Effect. Now we turn to a law that governs the middle zone. The system has not collapsed. But it feels unfair. Here is the hook. The Cantillon Effect explains why. New money does not enter society evenly. It enters through privileged gates. Governments. Major institutions. Financial elites. They receive it first at yesterday's prices. Everyone else receives it later at today's inflated prices. So what does that actually mean? It means inflation is not neutral. It is redistribution. Quiet. Structural. Invisible until it hits your grocery bill. After major crises, new liquidity lifts financial markets first. Meanwhile, wage earners struggle. Households feel squeezed. The public senses tightening but cannot identify the cause. Empathy matters here. People think they failed. But the system moved the goalposts. Footnote. This section describes how money creation benefits early recipients and burdens ordinary households. 5. Financial repression. Now we address the next law. Governments overwhelmed by debt need a method that does not look like punishment. Here is the hook. They choose a quiet method. The tease is simple. Interest rates are held artificially low. Below inflation. The reveal is sharper. Savers lose purchasing power every year. Slowly. Quietly. Without public debate. So what does that actually mean? It means that saving responsibly becomes mathematically impossible. People store money. The value melts. At the same time, capital controls restrict exits. Moving money abroad or into alternatives becomes difficult. Citizens are kept inside a financial corral. Empathy belongs here. People believe they are doing the right thing. Yet they fall behind. Action emerges in understanding this structure. Footnote. This section shows how governments use low interest rates and inflation to shrink public debt at citizens' expense. 6. Triffin's paradox. Now we zoom out to the empire level. To hold global reserve currency status, a nation must send its money abroad. Here is the hook. This requires running trade deficits. Permanently. So what does that actually mean? It means financial dominance creates domestic strain. Industries hollow out. Debt loads rise. The nation imports goods and exports its currency. This is not mismanagement. It is the built-in cost of reserve status. Triffin warned that confidence in the currency would eventually weaken under this pressure. And so it has. Other nations now search for alternatives. The paradox is that reserve power is both strength and slow poison. Footnote. This section explains why reserve currency status creates internal economic imbalances. 7. Goodhart's Law. Now for the next law. When a measurement becomes a target, it stops functioning as a measurement. Here is the hook. Governments obsess over hitting certain numbers. Inflation at 2%. GDP growth at ideal levels. Unemployment at a political sweet spot. The tease is that these metrics shape policy. The reveal is that policy begins distorting reality in order to protect the numbers. So what does that actually mean? It means official statistics may look healthy while real life deteriorates. Housing rises. Healthcare rises. Education rises. But the dashboard says stability. Remember this. A polished metric does not equal a stable system. Footnote. This section highlights how targeting economic indicators distorts the true condition of the economy. 8. The law of diminishing returns on debt. Finally, we reach the last law. Debt at first fuels growth. Here is the hook. In early stages, debt funds expansion. Infrastructure. Production. Real output. The tease is that over time, debt loses power. Each new dollar produces less growth. Eventually almost none. The reveal is that debt stops driving growth and starts preventing collapse. So what does that actually mean? It means the system borrows not to move forward, but to avoid falling backward. Empathy matters. Citizens see rising markets but shrinking opportunities. They feel the contradiction. And they are correct. When debt becomes life support, the future becomes fragile. Action begins with understanding that debt cannot erase consequences. It can only delay them. Footnote. This section explains how rising debt eventually shifts from productive force to survival mechanism.